Welcome to SCREAMBOX Essential Picks 22. We are finally and sadly out of the spooky season, and we are vastly approaching our next two holidays. We're officially in November, so we are looking forward to Thanksgiving, the movie, and also the holiday. And then we have Christmas coming up after that for those of you who celebrate it. As much as I love Halloween and the spooky season, Christmas is a whole nother joy for me because of the amount of horror films that surround Christmas time or anything to do in the snow. I love movies and settings that are in snow or snowy areas. There's just something about it, like video games, movies, anything like that. I love snow. And I'm really looking forward to that. And also looking forward to revisiting or seeing Christmas horror films that I've never seen for the first time this year, and to start going and tackling those towards the end of this year. But here we're going to be talking about our neutral horror films. It's not really geared towards any specific holiday or anything like that. We're going to be having a throwback to a film that I have actually never seen and been wanting to see for a long time, and happy to know that it's actually streaming somewhere where I don't have to find a physical copy for it or look and see if it was possible to rent. Just because I think this one isn't really easy to track down unless you have a physical copy of it, but I could be wrong. And then the second one is a fresh one, a very fresh film that SCREAMBOX put out, and actually there was a single night premiere for it through Fathom Events, which is one thing SCREAMBOX has been doing with cinemas and with Fathom Events and whatnot, to go and see some of these films that are going to be going on SCREAMBOX, but experience them with an audience, which I think is awesome. So the two films is Don't Torture a Duckling and Shaky Shivers. Don't Torture a Duckling is one that I've been wanting to see for a long time. I know it's one that a lot of people talk about, especially when it comes to Lucio Fulci. So you Fulci heads out there, you know what this movie is about. For those of you who don't, let me go right over here and start reading the synopsis off of IMDb. When a southern Italian town is rocked by a string of child murders, the police and two urban outcasts search for the culprit amid scapegoating within a superstitious community. So that's on IMDb. Let's see if there's a rating. Oh wow, with over 10,000 reviews, it's a 7 out of 10. Obviously, it was directed by Lucio Fulci. So those of you who are familiar with Lucio Fulci know how he can be with effects, with the way that he films, and there's the cinematography all around. He just has that distinct feel. So when you're watching a Lucio Fulci film. Let's go over to Rotten Tomatoes and see if there's a different synopsis. Oh, actually, this tells you right here that I could have got it off of Prime or rented it on Vudu, but doing it with SCREAMBOX because that's the place to be. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is a reporter and a young woman investigate a series of child murders in a remote town. So this was released in 1972, not rated. It's an hour and 45 minutes, which I will say this movie is kind of long. It drags a little bit, but it's a fun film regardless. So let's see if there's anything else that we can pull from this. The first time it ever was streaming was July 18th, 2014. So I guess to give a little bit of a background to this film and what to expect is that, it is a murder mystery. It's not really a giallo, which I guess you could have an argument for that if you really wanted, but I don't think you could label this as a giallo. It's more of a murder mystery suspense, but very fun. And there's a lot of things that kind of go on with this. You're dealing with children who are wanting to look at females. Women in the very beginning is this group of friends, and there's one boy who has someone staying at his house, and he sees her naked. So you're playing with that stuff and also playing with sins. This movie is very heavy on sins and dealing with voodoo or magic or however you want to call it. So yeah, you're dealing with black magic and sort of like a witch hunt that's going on as well. And there's a lot of characters and police that are kind of tangled together. And what was really weird, since I've never seen this before and I wasn't expecting it, was that this film is actually 2 parts. You get to a certain point and it says end of part 1. And then it goes right into part 2. So I wonder, like, if you guys have the physical media of this. Is it on a 2-disc? Or is it 1 disc? Or how was it back in the day? Was it 2 VHSs? Or when you went to go see this in the theaters? Like, how was it? Maybe it was broken up or whatnot. But that's very, very interesting for me, at least, to see that. It's also called Don't Torture a Duckling. And on the art, you see, a kid holding a duck. And I don't remember there being any ducks in here other than towards the very, very end. There's a Donald Duck toy that's there. But yeah, it's your classic Italian horror movies. Lucio Fulci. This is really great scene and very, very sad scene when you get to this point where this girl is essentially being beaten by the townsfolk because of things that have happened. Also, side note, I do apologize if anybody listening to this hears somebody outside mowing. I don't know why they're doing this at almost 6 at night, but it is what it is. So I'm sorry for everybody listening to this. But going back to the movie, so there's a lady being essentially beaten for things that have happened in the town with these boys and whatnot, and she dies pretty much tragically. And I don't want to spoil too much stuff. That's not what this series is about. But that really showcases like what Lucio Fulci can do with effects. Very minimal, but very powerful. It's a great film. So go check this one out if you haven't seen it before. It's definitely one that's been on my list for Italian horror, that especially Lucio Fulci. It's a great film. Like I said, it is a bit long, and it kind of drags at some points, but overall, I thought it was a great experience, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then next, we have Shaky Shivers. So let's go over to trusty IMDb and see what this is about, for those of you who haven't seen it. So it says, 2 young women find themselves in an abandoned camp in the woods with a book of magical spells, surrounded by classic monsters and his comedic send-up of 80s horror films. Now, on IMDb, there are 78 reviews, and it's 5.9 out of 10. Directed by Sung Chang, who doesn't know that he is also in Fast and the Furious. So this is like his directorial debut, and he's also in the film, but at the very, very end as a cameo. Very, very fun film. Let's go straight over to Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, also, let's go back to Rotten Tomatoes real fast for the previous film. Give you the ratings. Tomato meter for Don't Torture a Duckling is 83% with 6 reviews. And then the audience score is 76% with 1,000+ reviews. And then let's see if there's anything else that is said. Oh, okay, so there actually is a much different thing on here. So Rotten Tomatoes says, after finding herself bitten by a mysterious animal, Lucy becomes convinced that she will transform into a fearsome werewolf. Joined by her best friend Karen, the 2 embark on a wild adventure filled with magic and mayhem as they look to battle a throat-slashing creature ripped right out of the 80s horror movie. I think this was set to release in 2022, but with pandemic and everything, it all had to be kind of pushed. And also with like the strikes and everything, they're still going on, by the way, they had to push things. So this officially, the release date in theaters, which was for 1 day only, September 21st, 2023. It's an hour and 32 minutes. And I'll give you the ratings right now as well. So the tomato meter with 10 reviews is 70%, and audience score with fewer than 50 ratings is 100%. And I will say, seeing this in the theater, unfortunately, my theater only had maybe 4 to 8 people in there, if I recall correctly. So it was very, very small. And it was fun. It was a great theater experience. I saw Onyx and Fortuitous as well, which I'll be doing a review for that this coming week. So please look out for that. Do my actual review on that, not just my video one on the socials and all that stuff. Now that it's going straight to streaming on, I think, the 14th on SCREAMBOX this month. So I'm really, really excited to finally get that review out. But as a comparison, when Shaky Shivers, I had not that many people in the theater. I don't know if maybe this wasn't being pushed as much, but Onyx to Fortuitous, I had a packed theater. Like, there was no seats empty in there. But I think it might have just been the marketing and whatnot. But going back to Shaky Shivers, it's a true like horror comedy creature feature. Very, very fun, very minimal cast, minimal settings, because this was filmed in the pandemic. Like a lot of these films that are coming out now, they're finally being released. But it's very, very fun as you're following Lucy, Karen, and Eric, who's another character in here. And they work at like a ice cream shop. I have actually have some stuff over there that SCREAMBOX sent me for the promotion on this, which is really, really cool. But if you guys like werewolves, magical shit, 80s throwbacks, comedic horror, this is definitely one you want to check out to really balance the Don't Torture a Duckling. But these films are amazing, so I really, 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 really recommend that you go watch these as soon as you hear this episode, or fit it into your schedule to at least watch one of these this week. And as always, I like to kind of give you my viewing order. And this one I really had to think, because it's like, how should we go about this? Should you start with something really, really strong, get your palate nice and ready to go into these movies? Or should you end with more of a colorful, funny, and crazy film? And I had to go with, starting with Don't Torture a Duckling, kind of go in little. Watch something classic, something that a lot of people look up to, a Lucio Fulci film, kind of get your beak wet with that, pun intended. And then end with Shaky Shivers on a very, very high note. Because Don't Torture a Duckling is a great film. Really, really good classic. It needs to be in your collection if you're a physical media collector, especially if you like Lucio Fulci. And then Shaky Shivers, it's new. Directorial debut by Sang Chung, and it's really, really, really good creature feature. A lot of crazy things happen in it. I will say that there's maybe a Bigfoot in it. It's really, really cool. But go check these out. Go support SCREAMBOX. And lastly, before I let everybody go, I'd like to let you know tickets are on sale for this month's live movie event, where I'm showing The Mean One with the director and producer / actor of the film. And I'm really, really excited. It's going to be on November 30th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Cinema Salem in Salem, Massachusetts. And the tickets will be linked down below. And I might have some extra stuff, not just posters, which everybody has seen on social media. I'm thinking of trying to do like little gift baskets, because we're going into the Christmas season. I got to give you guys something a little extra. So for those of you who attend, you'll be getting a poster free to be signed for free. That's exclusive for that event. And I'm going to be getting little gift baskets for everybody that attends. It's not going to be anything huge. It might be a little something, but I'm really, really excited for this one. And I can't wait to see this on the big screen for the second time. Even though I have the DVD in the other room, and this amazing poster, where is it? Right here. So I'm really, really excited for that. And I actually have another one I'm going to be announcing that will be happening the week after that event. So I have 2 events coming very, very soon. One that's already announced, and one that will be with SCREAMBOX that I'm really, really excited for. But thank you everybody for tuning into these. I know it's been kind of slow lately, mainly just because of all last month I really took more family stuff and family time than really focusing on the show. But we're in full gear for the rest of the year, and I'm really, really excited to be here with everybody. But stay tuned for some really, really amazing things. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next one.